Hey YouTube, it's Gundude73 making another knife talk, and today, does anyone have a guess? Alright, that's kind of stupid, I'll just get on with it. We're going to be talking about tip fineness today. That's a fun word to say. Now, tip fineness, tip strength, same difference. These knives here are pretty much either fairly thin tip knives or they're tough knives. Not tough, but a thicker tip. Let's get they're basically fine, tough, fine, tough. Now most people are pretty surprised when I pointed to the Sebenza and said it has a tough tip. Now really the Sebenza is an 1/8 of an inch thick, 0.125 inches. It holds its thickness pretty much all the way to the tip, and that tip is pretty darn thick. It is. If you don't believe me, go check one out. In comparison to the tilt, I'm going to show this without cutting myself. You can see the difference. The tilt has a very, very thin tip, while the Sebenza has a pretty tough tip. For the reputation the Sebenza has a dainty little knife. Most people don't realize it's a pretty tough thing. Thick tie, thicker tip, etc. Knives like this, anytime you have a full distal tapered knife like the Para 2 with a full flat grind, you're going to have a thin tip. That just goes with the territory. The advantage to having a tip this fine is it cuts and pierces really well. Go ahead and try. See how well this pierces against, say, like an XM18 Spantail grind. This thing will really just pierce like a demon. And the only real downside is it'll break if you're being really stupid with it. I've seen one knife that has a ridiculously thin tip is a Kershaw Needs Work. I saw one video where this guy is like, "Oh, I got my needs work," and he'd tried to pry open a paint can with it and broke the tip off. It's like, well, what do you expect? It has like a paper thin tip. Be careful with it. Then there's knives like this 0350. Most people also don't realize that the 0350 is actually pretty thin. It's thinner than the Sebenza. It's actually the thinnest knife I'm showing. It's 0.121 inches thick. So just as an aside here, you can see the difference between these two. Pretty different. But the thing is it may be thinner, but it holds its thickness pretty much the whole way. The tip on this, like right here, is 0.121, and here is 0.121. There's no taper at all. So it's pretty tough. I don't have any qualms doing light prying with this. I'm not going to heavy pry with any knife at all. It's just stupid. I don't understand why people have a fascination with wanting to pry with their knives. I'll get more into this with my locks video on knife locks. But if you want to pry, seriously, buy a pry bar. Pick up a Sharpworks Pry Buddy like I showed in my video on it. You can pry with that thing all day long and it's $10. You're not going to break it. Why would you even feel the want to pry with a $300 folding knife? It's like, what is your deal? Alright, enough ranting. That's my basic idea here. They each have their place, both good, just different. Maybe you learned something that the Sebenza isn't really that dainty. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next video. Take it easy and have a nice day. Bye.